How often do you find yourself immensely frustrating that you cannot find the one piece of data that you know you had? You know you put it somewhere, it's in Dropbox, it's in an email, it's in a text message, it's in a voice memo, it's written on a little scrap of paper somewhere, but you just can't find it. I face this problem a lot, or at least I used to. And that was until I came across a tool or framework in a book on Building a Second Brain by Tiago Forte. And I want to summarize the framework, at least in how I interpret it, and how I've been applying it over the last year to organize my digital clutter on my laptop. I have several laptops that I use for personal and work-related purposes, and they need to be organized to find some of the complex tasks and information that is required for various projects. And that brings me to the PARA framework, which Tiago summarized so eloquently in his book. The P is for projects, and that is what you're actually working on at present time. Most humans have anywhere from 5 to 15 projects going at any given time, and these are often front and center on your desktop or laptop or whatever sort of device you're utilizing in the form of a folder. And by organizing these into projects, you can cluster these together into a single location, which makes it very easy to find what you need, what you're working on, what needs to be accomplished in a particular given time frame or period. That's the P. A is activities or areas of interest. This is a little more challenging, and it's going to take some nuance and some experimentation to come up with the framework that works best for you. I utilize it as basically areas of interest, and I cluster these, for example, into health, finance, travel, technology, and then further subdivide these into, for example, family. There's a subfolder that deals with kids, with college, with college finances, with keeping track of the kids' car maintenance records and various payments and things like that for their student loans. And I keep all that under that single header there. So that is activities or areas of interest. This is where I store information and data that can be helpful for projects that I'm either working on now or will be working on in the future, or ideas that I think I may want to take on in the distant future. For example, rewriting a cookbook that my wife and I wrote years ago related to specific nutritional hacks for endurance sports, and it's something that I wanted to tweak, and I've been slowly accumulating additional data to put into that book, and that's where I store some of that. That can also be utilized in the reference section, which is R in the PARA framework, or resources, if you will. And this is where I keep the bulk of my research. There's a lot of topics that I'm interested in, but I don't have any project going on with them. They're interesting to me, but they're not anything that I specifically have any immediate intent to do anything with. And so I put that information there so that I can readily find it in the event that I would need to share that with somebody, or if I decided to create a project about that, I can readily find it there. If you've ever used the program Scrivener or heard of Scrivener, it's basically a tool for writing books and play scripts and manuscripts, etc. And the concept there is utilizing a reference section with note cards with various topics and information bits there that will be utilized in the future. And so I think that's the power of keeping things in that particular setting. And then the last is archives. This is something that I've devoted a lot of time to in the last 6 months, and that is basically putting up all the clutter that's either on my desktop or in my Dropbox into a single archive folder, so that when I log into Dropbox, I'm not faced with hundreds and hundreds of folders and thousands of data points, that these are all in the archive. The example I'm going to give is the 2019 tax returns. Those go in the archives. Itinerary that we used for an Italy trip, which covered some of the major sites that we wanted to see, and some of that we want to revisit in the future, and that goes in the archive. And you can come up with your own idea of what goes in there, but it's just a way to storehouse a lot of data, a lot of information, past projects. I think it's beneficial, particularly for, say you create content, blog posts, videos, whatever. You don't want to just delete those. What if your YouTube account got hacked and shut down? All those videos, if you don't have a repository for them, they're just up in smoke. All your time is lost. So there's a variety of AI tools out there that allow repurposing of content, splitting of video clips, pulling sound bites out of podcasts, things like that, whether it's just for your own information purposes, learning, or if you're a content creator and you want to share easily and widely. This is a powerful place to keep a lot of your previous work. You've done the work once. There's no sense in reinventing the wheel. And so I hope you found that helpful. That's just the PARA framework, how I interpret it and how I apply it. I encourage you to check out the book. The link is below this, as well as a summary of Tiago's book, which I listened to on Audible and highly recommend. Take care. Be well.